Welcome everybody to a news update. And yes, I know that my channel is not normally about that, but when it pertains to the Ravage, Generation 1 Ravage that showed up in Beast Wars, and the fact that as of the time this video was shot, they actually overnight revealed they're releasing a Generations update. Now, this guy, we've actually taken a look at him on the channel before. If you're interested in kind of seeing all the features about him, I'll put the link in the description down below. But if you also know anything about the legacy of the Ravage character as far as during the time of the Beast Wars, and what they're doing now is the go-to is they just always take a Cheetor mold and retool it to make this version. Now this was taken from the Transmetal Cheetor, whereas this one is what they're going to be using to make the more surprisingly show-accurate version of this guy. So that is pretty interesting. And you know, as far as like Kingdom, because his whole stick is G1 and Beast Wars together, right? Well, who's the perfect character to make a new figure about? Well, it's Ravage, because you know, like he had a little bit of character. It's the tiniest bit, but you know, he was actually very significant in the Beast Wars Season 2 finale. So,
Decepticons forever!
there you go. Now, other news that is actually dropped is the fact that we are going to be getting a 4-pack with the first one that's strange is a Predacon called Nemesis Primal, which, have we ever had like a Nemesis version of that guy? Because I can't recall anyone off the top of my head. But well, that's the Predacon of the set. So they're basically taking the Predacon Blackarachnia mold and re-releasing it as the Maximal Blackarachnia. And it's in, if you saw one of the Golden Disc bios, it actually was her in this form with like a new paint job. So it's a slight bend on how it actually happened in the Beast Wars animated series. But you know what, it's cool, it's different, it's unique. And then they're also releasing, which we don't have on hand, Fangry, which is a retool, I'm assuming of, I think it's actually Grotesque, however you want to pronounce that. So it's the Titans Return version, just rebotched out as Fangry, which he didn't get a full-on figure, he was just a Titan Master in that line. So it's kind of nice to see, I guess, a little bit of an homage there. He's the Decepticon of the set. And then they have this guy. So basically they're just taking the hubcap mold and, you know, basically bopping Bumblebee's head on there instead. Which, like, the whole reason I got hubcap, besides the nostalgia, was that's kind of like my personal way of sticking it to Bumblebee by having this be the yellow guy without having to be, actually be. And so I'm like, by them just, you know, swapping out the head with Bumblebee, that's like being in a bouncy castle when it starts to deflate. The fun is literally getting sucked out of it. I don't have to get it, that's the thing, because like the Ravage, I like the character in G1 and in Beast Wars, but like the character that's like these three molds plus one that I had but sold, I'm like, I'm not too about it. I mean, if you are, that's cool. I'm not disparaging you for that. Which, you know, hey, if you derive joy out of that and that's your thing, cool deal. Kind of like the Battle Across Time sets on Amazon. It's up to your opinion on those. So one more thing before we go, guys, is let me talk about Rhinox here for a second. But after I go ahead and plug the IG account, you guys will see it down at the bottom and possibly in the description, where for this and the secondary channel, we're just posting pretty frequently. So if you guys have access to IG and you want to give it a look, please do. But Rhinox.
The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
It is clear skies outside. What are you talking about? My phone's like, ooh, it's gonna storm, which it's Oklahoma, it could any second. But
National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
okay, shut up, I'm trying to film the video. Anyway, so Rhinox here.
The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
Are you serious? Can we finally get back to him now? No more alerts are going off, right? Okay, cool. I think that on its own, it's actually a very good Rhinox. The fact that it is channeling a little bit of the 1990s Rhinox and like also kind of like poking fun at the Thrilling 30 version in its own way kind of makes this Rhinox really cool in its own regard. And the fact is yeah, maybe the Thrilling 30 has it beat in aesthetic details, but on its own, as its own figure, it's really good. It was eating me alive because I was like, man, I want that Rhinox. I see people are getting them all over the place. So yeah, I'm digging this Rhinox for what he is, not what he isn't. Anyway, guys, but that was my little follow-up to the Rhinox review. So if you guys have not seen it, please check out his review. We've also got Galvatron's, because I know they just released, what was it, the G1 toy-inspired deco. What else have we done recently? Oh, it was the Quintesson Pit of Judgment. So if you guys, I have quite a few new videos that I've just been dropping here recently. So if you guys don't mind giving those a look, I'd appreciate it. Thanks to all my new subscribers. And again, this was just a little one-off video because, like I said, we don't normally do the news updates, but I figured it kind of warranted it. And hopefully the plan for the secondary channel is that we're going to be dropping cut content from the Quintesson Pit review on there, along with cut content possibly from the Rhinox review or another one. So anyway, guys, until next time, I will see you in another review, hopefully.